Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
And here we are. Guess what? We're back.
We's back.
It's Epi 198. 198.
It's 198.
And happy Monday to you. Nicole is in first.
Nicole, can I congratulate you on two things? First of all, congratulations on getting back to work. Congratulations to all EAs. I think that's wonderful. I think it's long overdue. And Nicole as well, congratulations on actually knowing the proper day of the week. That's great. Congratulations. Good for you. That's wonderful. Good job on you. Good job.
3,500 points for Nicole.
3,500.
3,500. So we're back. We are here live on your screen, whatever that screen that might be.
Better than being here dead.
Well, we were talking murder mystery off air. So
That's right. There we go.
yeah, but whatever you're watching this on, whether you're watching this on your television or your computer screen or your tablet or your phone, we're here.
We're here, and we
night.
thank you for being there, which is also here.
Yeah.
Okay, I invited like 900 people. How come they're not here yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I invited a whole lot of people as well.
Dadgummit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did, but it's been so busy, I don't remember.
Hello, William Kirkland.
Mr.
2,500 points.
Just like so.
Just like that. 2,500.
Don't use them all in one place.
Just like that. We give them really quick.
Do.
We don't hold back on making you wait for the points.
That's right.
You get them like right away. We'll e-transfer those to you. 2,500 points.
It's e-transfer.
Yeah, you can't use them, but you can enjoy them.
Yeah, well, Laura was supposed to, keep track of them, on a spreadsheet and all type of stuff. But,
That didn't happen.
apparently she has other stuff to
No
do in her
commitment.
life. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no commitment to the Podlie podcast.
It's ridiculous.
So,
So
how you guys been doing? I know, Paul, you saw a couple concerts, Jelly Roll and Heart.
Jelly
Roll
Roll.
and Heart, very good shows in their own right. Very
I might have
different
eaten a
shows
Jelly Roll.
in their own right. They've eaten Jelly Rolls, and now I've seen Jelly Roll. Very good, very different concerts in their own right. Very good. Boy, those girls, I tell you, those Hart girls, or those Wilson girls. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. One is, I think, 74. The other one is just a couple of years younger. Boy, they still...
Who's
run the
older?
show. Good question. I think it's
Anne is
Anne.
older.
I think it's Anne.
The vocalist.
Yeah, I think it's Anne.
Nancy's the guitarist, right?
Nancy's
Yeah.
what Cliff?
She's amazing.
Wonderful guitarist.
She's amazing.
Oh, is she good?
She's amazing. There's none of this. Like you see some of these people, you hear the record and then you see them on stage and they're doing the C, D, and G thing and their buddies doing all the guitar.
Oh,
Not Nancy.
She's full on.
No.
she is full on.
She's full on rocker babe, man. I tell you.
Gotta love her.
I used to watch her. when I was young, play guitar, and it's like, I'm gonna throw this thing. I'm gonna beat the living shit out of this guitar and throw it in the fireplace. Because I'm never look at her. Look how much she can play.
She had a very good story about Eddie Van Halen. I'm not gonna about her and Eddie Van Halen with a riff that Eddie Van Halen did over the phone with her. I'm not going to get into it, but then she started playing that riff that she had continued from Eddie Van. It was just
from
it was
Eddie,
it was really touching. It was really touching. Yeah, it was really a good show.
She's a great guitarist.
Good
man.
show.
Great guitarist.
And I don't know about you guys. I've been singing in an amateur way for 25 years. Anne is Anne is the head vocalist. She did not have an instrument. She also fractured her elbow. Okay, just recently. So she's sitting during the whole concert. And when you're sitting the whole concert, guys, your diaphragm is I cannot sing when I am sitting down. I cannot. I sound terrible. I don't know how the hell she did it. First of all, she's beginning, if not mid-70s. She sounded incredible.
Belt that out like it's nobody's
Holy
business.
Cow! Like I was thoroughly impressed. And the band, which is not the original Heart members. Oh, that was a good band.
I have
in their own right.
an acquaintance of mine, a very distant acquaintance. I don't know her very well at all. Her name is Deanna. She sings in a band called Chronic Rock.
I know of because I know
Okay.
because I know the drummer.
Cool.
I know Mike. Yep.
So I've watched her on numerous occasions.
Yep.
Like go to the pub to watch her play.
Yep.
Like haven't been in a few years, but oh my God, when she sings Heart, she just kills it. And you think if you close your eyes and if you just close it a little bit, you'll go, oh my God, that sounds so much like Anne, right? Very much like Daria, right? Or Dahlia, yeah. But yeah, her name is Deanna. She sings Chronic Rock. She always plays.
Still gigging. Chronic Rock still gigging.
Barracuda. Yep. Well, they just had one over the weekend. But
Yep.
And she was at the concert, so it was funny to see her on Facebook saying that she enjoyed Heart. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. She channeled her own her only hand or her own hand.
But that song, Barracuda. I mean, when you start listening to a vocalist sing that song, man, you got to have some freaking chops.
Well, and not just Barracuda, but Alone and whatever. Lots of.
Did they do Dog and Butterfly?
Yes, they did.
I love that song.
So
is that girly? Is that like girly?
I don't remember ever hearing that song.
I must have had a girly one.
I don't remember ever hearing that song.
Oh, I love that song.
Because the friend that I was with Laura. And she's like, you don't know that. I'm like, I know. I don't
Dog
remember that
and
song.
Butterfly.
They did play it.
I love that song. Yeah. That one and These Dreams.
Of course, they played Dreams.
So These Dreams, Barracuda, Dreamboat Annie. My wife gets called Dreamboat Annie. Friends of hers way back when call her Leslie Annie, called Leslie Annie. And then Leslie Annie became Dreamboat Annie. But actually, it actually didn't start out that way. I don't know if she's listening tonight, but it didn't start out as Dreamboat Annie. It started out as Double Boozer. So then it went to DB. So it went to DB Leslie Annie, right? And then DB Leslie Annie got transferred to Dreamboat Leslie Annie.
Well, I really hope that she's not on here right now because I'm so going to start calling her that. That's it.
DB Leslie Annie. And it was ambiguity. We like ambiguity, right? Yeah. So it was ambiguous. You call it Dreamboat Leslie Annie. DB Leslie Annie is like, are you talking Dreamboat or are you talking Double Boozer?
What are you talking? What are you talking? Yeah.
But yeah, she was known as DB Leslie Annie for the longest time.
Yeah, good show. Glad to have seen them. Don't know why I haven't seen them sooner. I'm kind of sad I didn't see them in their heyday.
I've never seen them.
Kind of sad I didn't see them in their heyday. But better late than never.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Hi, Laura. Hi, William Seltzer.
Got to say hi to Marvin. Marvin is our 1,500 point guy, by the way.
Mr. Marvin, 1,500 pointers, man.
And he's finally able, because Marvin's been telling me when I see him at the music club that he's been tuning in to us after the fact. He hasn't been able to actually tune in when we're on live.
Well, we're happy you're on live at this time there.
He said he finally linked his time with ours. So he's
it's been too long, Marv.
Oh,
it's been
genius.
too long, buddy.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
So he is here finally.
And how many points does he get?
1,500.
Okay, but considering that he worked his ass off to get here and be here at the right time, I think he should have 2,000 points. He should have a little extra points there, Marvin.
So?
I think so.
Wow.
1,501.
Boy, Podlie is generous.
I know. I'm giving her today.
Yeah, and look at Laura's actually here.
Laura,
I'm giving her.
Wow.
Where you been?
Yeah, she's
she's been to the Heart Show.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've been dissing you all this time, especially Podlie.
Yeah.
We didn't know you were on because you seldom on, right? So
Oh, there you go. There you go. You're here. She's here with us now.
I'm torturing you, Laura.
A little bit of commitment tonight.
Slightly, little bit commitment.
What's going on with you guys?
What's
new? What's happening? What's happening? What's new?
To quote Podlie, status quo.
Status quo. Nothing new.
Status quo, baby.
Nothing new.
Just work, busy, and work, and I can't seem to catch up on sleep, and just tired. Can't seem to catch up on sleep, work, and that's about it.
You can grab a nap here if you want.
I slept all day yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I slept all day yesterday.
Wow, I just can't catch up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and then I had a couple of things planned, and then nope, something or another comes up, this meeting or that meeting, and this week I got probably, I don't know, a total of 6 meetings or something. So you put it all together and it's like, so but otherwise, good. Unfortunately, I have no concerts to report.
Yeah, I don't have any concerts to report.
You neither?
No.
How's the rest of the week? How's work?
Good. Yeah, same thing. Status quo.
Status quo.
Yeah, busy.
Are you away anytime soon?
No traveling in the near future.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know of. So, but just busy and Yeah, working away. Been doing media for the Ravenwood Music.
For the yes.
Oh yeah, you've been
Got
all
to
over
see.
it. That's
He's,
right.
he's been on
You've been
Global
all
and
over
he's
it.
been
Check
on.
out Global,
yeah,
you
I've done
guys.
3 or
Check
4 radio
out
interviews now. And
check out Mix 107.9. Check.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been even all.
And if you
you've
want it
been
in one place, just go to the Ravenwood Facebook page because our illustrious social media dude named James
we're all there.
posts it all there. So you can go have a look at this guy. When I walked in here today, I said, "May I have your autograph?" He told me off.
I blocked you.
I think I might have lost a Facebook friend after last time. I think I actually might have. I suspect I did.
Yeah, no, busy doing that. And by the way, if you haven't got your tickets yet, they're starting to sell. So that's a good thing.
It's coming up so fast.
Very quick.
It's coming up so
very
fast.
quick, my friends.
It is coming up fairly quickly. Laura says she's been singing, working, taking care of kids.
Nice. Sounds like a decent existence, Laura.
Let me share a story before we continue. I'm busy, just kind of getting my feet wet with judging the World Karaoke Championships, and I was at a venue last Monday just to get kind of my feet wet, know what to do, this, that, and the other thing. And our good friend on the Podlie podcast, Suzanne, was there. Suzanne Hube. And I don't ever remember Cliff ever meeting her in person. Maybe I have once.
I don't think you did.
I don't think I ever have. So anyways, last Monday, I know her, I saw her walking. I knew her right away. Anyway, we start chatting because obviously we know each other through Podlie podcast. We start chatting. We sit down. She does the judging. And
she's the judge as well.
She's one of the judges as well. I judge later on next month and and into May. Anyway, so after the judging, she sits down. We have a very nice conversation, and I said, Suzanne, by the way, I've been meaning to message you and talk to you about this in a long time. You do caricatures, and she does wonderful caricatures, guys. She is so multi-talented. Have you ever heard her sing, Cliff?
I know all.
Unbelievable.
I know all about Suzanne. She's multi-talented.
Unbelievable. This is one multi-talented girl singing, and anyway,
that's her main genre of theater is musical theater.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
And she's a piano player.
Yep.
Singer.
Yep.
Suzanne is one of those people that you would like to not like because she's so damn talented, but then she's so nice, so you end up liking her.
Because there's a whole lot of there's not a lot of things that she cannot do.
That's right. Yeah.
Really, really, really.
And she's a great actress. One of my favorite plays ever I've done was done across from her. That the one act Podlie that I did was across from Suzanne. Yeah. Brilliant actress as well.
So we're talking, and I said, Suzanne, I've been meaning to send you a message like this forever. We've never met. You're here. I'll ask you this right now. About 7 years ago, I got this wonderful gift from my kids. 7 years ago, my kids would have been 3 and 4 years old, as per my parents. And it was a caricature of my kids. And it was, face, right? And it holds, and for 7 years, it's held a very prominent place in my family room over top of my fireplace. Right? Everybody's in the family room all the time. It's a very prominent place. And I wasn't there to get it. It was my kids really young. My mom and dad got it. Anyway, I said, Suzanne, if I took a picture of this caricature, are you able, because caricatures to me as a non-artist, they look all the same. She says, oh yeah, I could tell whose artist that was. I said, Suzanne, I don't know where they got it, this, that, and the other thing. Took a picture. I sent it to her that night. She says, of course I know who did that caricature. It's me. It's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Nice.
I have had a Suzanne caricature original, and I had no idea. Probably for 8 years, 7 years.
Nice.
Look up Suzanne Hube, guys. She's so talented.
Might have to talk to Suzanne, maybe coming out to Ravenwood.
I mentioned that last year.
Yeah.
I mentioned that last year to you guys.
Doing some caricatures.
If you do a Facebook search for Art Forms Illustrated. Art Forms Illustrated. That's her Facebook page. Go give her a like. She's
8 years I've had that.
She's very, very
8 years
talented.
I've had that. 7 years. And I had no idea that it was Suzanne.
Yeah, very talented. And since she's not on here, I'll tell you quite frankly, I don't like her.
I thought you were gonna ask her to like Photoshop you in or something.
No, that would just ruin the caricature, quite frankly.
Yeah. I actually have a caricature of her.
Do
That
you?
sounds weird. It's like I do a caricature of her.
Oh, no, I didn't know you were a caricature. Learn something new every day.
That's right. No, we had her on Artstock,
Yes,
Polly.
we did.
On Artstock.
Yeah.
Bill and I interviewed her on
She's so
Artstock.
good.
And while I was interviewing other people, she did a caricature of me.
Oh, wait, very cool.
So I have that at home. So it's nice.
Crazy talented woman.
Yeah. No,
And
Caricatures are such a unique art form because, like, you look at it and you go, yeah, it looks nothing like Polly. You look at it and go, yeah, it looks everything like Polly. It's the weirdest thing.
these
Right.
3
And they do look
caricatures
so
of my
quickly.
kids, you
And
can
so for 5
totally
minutes.
tell you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Later on, I'll send.
No, you know what I mean, though, right? But you
Yeah.
look at the character, you go, it looks nothing like him. And then you look at the character, you go, it looks everything like
That's
him.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
It's the weirdest. Like, caricatures to me are the strangest. And this is not a new fascination with me. It just so happens that Suzanne and I are friends. But way back when, if probably older than many of you would remember, there was a gentleman named Ben Wicks. And he used to do caricatures for cartoons,
Mhm.
cartoon caricatures. And it was fantastic. And
Mhm.
I remember my family used to really love this guy.
Mhm.
And even as a young man, I used to love caricatures. And then when I met Suzanne, of course, she was the only
Wow.
caricaturist that I've ever met.
I have.
And it blew my mind the way you can do that in 5 minutes. And it looks just like the person, but it doesn't.
100%.
I have a friend of mine, Lee Conrad, who also does caricatures, and I've acted in some shows with Lee. He also directed a film I was in,
Mhm.
but he does it. He's on a full-time, almost basis now. He does it. He's
Yeah,
in
that's
so many
huge, yeah.
places.
It's
Oh,
fascinating.
And Mark doing caricatures all over the
And,
place.
and
Every
fascinating.
weekend
you
he's
just
busy.
follow Suzanne, and she's everywhere
Yeah.
all the time. Like she's everywhere all the
Yeah.
time. So-
Yeah. Well, and of course, she's in her own band as well, right?
And she's
Yeah.
in her own band.
Yeah.
Is it called the caricatures?
No, it's called the Groovy Tuesdays.
It is called the Groovy Tuesdays.
It's called Groovy Tuesday. I love it.
It is.
not the Groovy Saturdays.
No, Groovy Tuesdays. Yeah. And she joined and she's hey, I'll tell tales, Suzanne. I know you're the oldest person in the group. You'd never know it. You'd never know it. Right? You never know it. She just rocks it out.
I'd be curious how they came up with the name Groovy Tuesdays.
It's a great name.
I just saw my friend's band, the Vinyl Grooves. So Groovy Tuesday, the Vinyl Grooves. Just saw them on Saturday at
Well,
or Friday.
they're probably Crosby, Stills, and Nash fans. Ruby Tuesday. They come
Could
up
be.
with Groovy Tuesday.
Groovy
right?
Groovy
Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
Yeah, instead of
Vinyl
Ruby
Grooves
Tuesday.
did very well. Congratulations to you guys. It was a lot of fun. Just really, really busy.
So just quickly, we're going to jump into a topic idea that I had, but I have to ask you this really quick, Paul. So you're going to be judging this karaoke competition that people get through, like semifinals, finals, etc. Then they go to the World Championship.
You know her, baby.
So what do you look for in a karaoke singer? You're sitting at the judges' table,
Yep.
and what are you looking for when you're watching somebody up there performing?
It's really important for me to remind people that it is not about them. They are doing it for the audience. They have to incorporate the audience in some way or form. A lot of people, this is what, and I'll give you an example. This is what I do not like about singers. Close your eyes. And you have to make a connection with the audience. Make a connection with that audience. So yes, a lot of people will you'll get lost in the music and you'll close your eyes for a bit, but open them and look at the audience. So what drives me nuts with singers a lot is they're closing their eyes during the whole chorus, right? Stevie Wonder not included, and it drives me nuts. You have to make a connection with the audience. The song is not for you. You are performing for the audience. So you have to make that connection. So I'm going to try and see if people can make that connection with the audience. And just the eyes is one example. Obviously good sense of the stage.
Right, good presence.
Good stage presence and good use of the stage. We are very lucky at the venue that I'm at that it's not a big stage, but it's also not a really small stage as well.
What's the venue?
It's called High Note. High Note Bar and Grill. There's a bunch of venues that the World Karaoke Championships locally are going to be judged at. Mondays it just happens to be at the High Note, so I will be there later on tonight.
Cool.
And then I will be the judge later in April and May. So, but it's not make good use of the stage. It is a karaoke competition, but guys, you should know the friggin' song. Don't look at the screen. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one thing
Do you
I
know what I
can't imagine. If you're gonna compete in a competition, you really shouldn't need the lyrics.
You should
right?
probably practice.
You should probably know them.
You should probably know the lyrics, right?
Yeah, you should probably practice.
It's one thing if you're in a bar singing after a few drinks. That's one different. But if you're gonna sing in front of an audience, and perform, it's one thing to sing karaoke. I'm with Podlie. It's one thing to sing karaoke. It's another thing to perform a song.
Mm-hmm.
That's true,
right? So in terms of that, I think if you're in a competition, which I'm not, so I'm speaking out of the side of my mouth, I would imagine that you should know the lyrics, you should know how you're going to sing it, and you should perform it. You should not just do karaoke. You should actually perform it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody taught me a very valuable lesson, and I got kind of bit in the butt one time. I was with a friend, and we were composing our own music, and I was voicing. We were doing everything, full track songs, and this, that, and the other thing. And he says, "Okay, Paul, well, we'll go home, and we'll continue the next time that we're in his home studio." Okay. Well, here's the thing, though. When you're in the home studio, that is not your time to learn the song. And I didn't know that. When you're in the studio rehearsing, that's getting the idiosyncrasies down. That's not learning the song. That's learning.
By the time you go to studio, you better know what you're doing.
You better know what you're doing. And I made that mistake. And I thought the studio time was, okay, I'm going to learn the song and I'm going to learn it with my... No. You got to learn your part before you get into the studio. And I had to learn that the hard way.
Well, that's because studio, I mean, nowadays it's different. You have a lot of home studios and all, but back in the day, studio time was like hundreds of dollars an hour.
Oh, it's expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah, so you're not learning the song at that point. You're not even perfecting the song at that point. You're performing the song for your bandmates.
You're honing you're honing the little details in that's exactly
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
honing the details in the rehearsal.
You're performing it. The only difference is that you get to cut up a few takes and put it together.
Boy, I embarrassed myself that time. I
Hey,
thought
live and learn,
rehearsal was to take the song from its beginning stages and then put it together. No. You got to learn your part.
Yeah, that's not
you got to know your part before you get into the.
That's rehearsal.
That's the rehearsal. That's rehearsal.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress. So that's kind of what I look for in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny as you mentioned karaoke, and you shouldn't be looking at the screen. And then I kind of think as you look at probably 75 to 80% of the touring bands now all have teleprompters.
They all have teleprompters,
so they're on the stage for them. So it's funny, all these top bands, they all have teleprompters.
It was very funny. We had one at Ravenwood a few years ago, and I'm not going to mention any names. We had a performer at Ravenwood, and this performer was like this on the teleprompter, and it was probably and very talented. Very, very talented performer. But to date, it was probably the most memorable performance for me at Ravenwood because it was my least favorite. It was my least favorite because she was doing karaoke.
Yeah.
She was not performing.
Well, and that's, and also having your tablet or whatever up here.
Yeah.
Whereas on stage, most bands have it down
here. Down there.
So it looks like a wedge from behind. A sound wedge,
and I mean it's one thing to have it there as a prompt. It's called a teleprompter, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not designed.
No, it's not
to
for them
read.
to stand there and read the song. It's
right?
there. It's there.
I mean, I don't know. Like
them.
I sing Paul Simon's "The Boxer," and for some odd reason, I get like when one verse ends, I'm like, I keep on playing because I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember how the next. I don't know. I don't remember which verse starts next.
Mm-hmm.
And so often what I've done is, whenever I've, in days gone by, is I'll have a little chit of paper. I'm literally got the first line of the 5 verses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
So,
so then you just look down and, it's next, right?
Yeah.
But you're not reading.
No, but it's funny. So, sorry, and besides the prompters, a lot of the lead singers, musicians in the big bands now have the cues in their in-ears.
Well,
so
correct.
in the in-ears, they'll get a cue course,
Right.
and it'll throw off the
And
first
it'll
couple
throw
words
the
in
first
their
couple
ear.
of words. Yeah, it's nice, eh?
And or whatever. So
Yeah.
they've always got a cue happening.
Right.
So it's very rare you're going to hear somebody mess up because
It's so-
or forget the lyrics on stage.
And it's funny because I'm 21 years old. I was doing in North Edmonton. I was doing a variety show, a live variety show. I'm 21 years old, and I'm doing I'm doing word for word The Last Saskatchewan Pirate by Captain Tractor. Oh, he used to be a farmer and made a living fine. And that's really fast. And to your guys' point, I had to have one of the actors come in after every verse and just say, "and wheat."
And wheat, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that would prompt me, and it would be in my ear. Do you know what I mean? Like we didn't wear buds at the time, or we didn't have monitors or anything. And he would come in, and he would just very quickly just go like this to me, and he'd say wheat, or he'd say, and that completely.
Because some of those songs you can't do it, right? I mean, look at Edmund. Try singing Edmund Fitzgerald.
The last, you betcha.
Like so difficult. It's so, and then even the lyrics. One time is up. And da 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 da, and then one time da 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 da. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's up and down.
That's it, Marvin. I've seen a lot of local singers using an iPad on a mic stand. Now that's commonplace at open mic, and at open mic, I'm down with that. I am good with that at open mic because at open mic, in my opinion, it's kind of that's rehearsal for them.
Performing for
that's rehearsal. It's performing for your friends. It's honing your skills. It's this, that, and the other thing. But when you are doing a performance and and if you're getting paid for it, for goodness sakes, know the friggin' song, or hide the iPad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no problem with people using it as a cue. I just think if you're looking at your iPad, like I've seen on open mic, where they're just basically singing to the iPad because they're looking at and changing chords, all the chords and playing. And so then what? And it's not even so much that there's anything wrong with that. What I find is if I'm watching a singer perform and they're doing that, it takes me out of the song. It's like it takes me out of the performance, right? Meanwhile, if the person is sitting there and if they just glance at it and they're singing to the audience, to your point earlier there, Podlie, then you're engaged, right? But if you're just sitting there looking at the iPad and singing, I'm not sure who you're doing it for.
Well, this singer that I referenced earlier, this singer, I watched this singer's eyes go to the iPad. So guess where my eyes went? They didn't go to the
they go to the iPad.
They went to the iPad, and I completely lost. I lost what the performer was doing.
You lost the feeling.
I
you
lost
lose
the feeling. It was done.
It's almost like, do they rehearse or do they like? And I understand open mic is a little bit different.
Because open mic's different.
But having said that, still, even at an open mic, it can be distracting because they're supposed to be honing their skills.
Yeah,
honing your skills means you probably should still learn the song because if you're staring into the iPad to get your notes and your lyric,
you're taking the audience out of it.
The audience by that point is going, well, he or she's so busy concentrating on her iPad. I'm gonna go have another beer and I'll come back when you're done.
Yeah,
and if you're doing that, it almost looks like you kind of, this person just showed up and is just going to read and sing. Like there's no effort. There's no effort. It looks like there's no effort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the talent is there to sing and play. I get all that sort of stuff, but I think.
But then use that talent.
But perform for goodness sakes.
Practice and that's what the open mic is for. Getting you in front of an audience and getting your confidence up to do that. And so learn your songs before. If you need the iPad, like you said, as a little cue to give you maybe your first starting note or the starting lyric, okay, that's fine. But then don't turn away from it. Glance, but don't do this. Like you said,
and to your guys' points, you asked me, what are you going to look for, Paul? I'm going to look for a performance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, to your guys' points, I'm not going to look for somebody that's looking like this. I'm going to look for somebody that may have a little bit of the jitters, but has noticeably prepared.
Yeah. Jitters are good.
And look, jitters are great. Yeah. Jitters are great. I mean, it's I love it. Performance. You have to perform. Anybody can know a song. You got to perform.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we kind of went over past our topic time.
What
start it? Because look at the clock, and you got to wait though.
Look at me, Mr. Motormouth.
There's only a few seconds.
Wait. 3,
2, 1.
Look at that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the middle of the film, or the podcast in this case. For those of you who don't know, I stole that. Like, we're talking blatantly, just ripped it right off from Monty Python.
Yeah. Yeah. Way back. When did you start doing that? Do you
Oh,
remember?
right, almost
From the beginning.
quite near the
Like,
beginning.
I
I
Yeah,
think, it
episode
was,
1
I
or
think it was
2?
episode 2.
yeah, because the first episode I think we did half an
Because we
hour,
were just doing
Yeah.
audio. Yeah, the very first
and
one
then
was
the second
half,
episode we
yeah.
went to an hour, and I think that might have very well been because we were going to go another half hour.
We were.
I think that's what prompted it, saying "Good
Yeah.
evening and welcome to the middle of the podcast." It's so silly, I
So-
love it.
Alrighty. Well, we got a half an hour or a little under to talk about a topic idea that I had thrown out to these guys.
To these guys, do it.
And it was on our page as well. So if you remember, last podcast we talked about mental health being affected by social media, the use of social media, etc. So then I was thinking, what would happen if they took social media away? Whether it's, and I'm talking like a short period of time. So what if it's 48 hours or 72 hours or whatever the case? So no Facebook, no Instagram, no
All the
X.
socials
It's
done.
all, it's all gone, and you can't use it for whatever 72 hours. It's blank. It's gone. Would you be able to survive? Like for me, so I use my cell phone for work.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me whether or not I would be on there for social media
For social
or not.
media, right.
I actually, most nights at 9 o'clock, I turn my phone right off.
Yeah.
Both my phones. I have
Right.
two. So I turn them, and they all go off at 9. So I'm not even on my
Not
phones
even on, right.
after that point. But what would it affect you to all of a sudden say, I can't go on Facebook? It's shut off. It's not on for the next 72 hours. What am I going to do? I can't go on X.
Can't go on
I
X.
can't go on Instagram.
I'll answer
TikTok.
that. I'll answer that quite briefly in a minute. But I'm curious about you, if you don't mind telling me. So you turn your phones off at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And you don't, assuming your work day is done, you're done. You wrap up all your emails.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what you do, or do you still do email?
I'm virtually wrapped up on my emails. I might have my work computer on,
Right.
But I usually by 9
You're done.
I don't think I ever knew that about you, Bill.
So I will usually shut all my technology off
Yeah.
by 9:30 at the latest.
And then just chill. That's interesting.
Then-
I like
then
that.
chill, yeah.
I like that. I
So
like
then
that.
I'm off. So if anybody's texting me or messaging me after 9 and you're not hearing back, it's because I've turned it
Good.
off.
Now is that because 9 o'clock is your proverbial bedtime and you got
No.
to shower and you got to
No.
exercise and you got to
No, I just
you're just
wanna get off.
detoxing
I
altogether.
do technology
Okay.
all day long,
All
so
right.
I just want to
You're
get
done.
off.
Cool.
I just want to get off and I'm
Yeah.
done.
Cool.
That's my time.
The short answer for me and social media, I could easily be off social media. I could very easily be off social media.
Mhm.
I would miss knowing some things about what's going on with the very few, and I'm talking, when I say very few, I probably mean 3
Mhm.
friends that I'm curious about what they're doing, because they're doing something, whatever. I would miss that. But as far as me actually scrolling Facebook or X or whatever and saying, oh no, what am I going to do? I can't be on there. That's pretty much a non-issue for me.
Mhm.
So I don't think it can affect. I could easily, if somebody said, hey, here's a challenge, you can't do Facebook for a week or 48 hours or whatever, no socials at all. I don't think it would affect me terribly much.
Mhm.
So
And what about you?
So when you ask me that question, I always think, okay, so you're taking social media away from me. Well, that means I can't get a hold of my friends through Facebook or Instagram, so I'll just phone them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask me that question, Paul, can you get off social media? I could get off social media. I would just have to back the calendar up 20 years.
go old school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go old school, and I don't think I'd have a problem one
Which,
iota, guys.
Having said that, it's probably easier for us, for
I
our
was
generation.
just going to say,
yeah.
Whereas the younger generation would
Oh,
go,
they'd
what?
be
You
in
mean
trouble.
there's no way I can be off
They're
for 70
connected
How am I going to
24/7,
talk
right?
to anybody? I can't
Yeah.
if I don't have social media.
Like,
I can't talk to anybody.
To
I would
answer your
imagine it'd be
question,
tough for them.
I mean,
Yeah.
now, ask me if I remember any 10-digit phone numbers. I would tell you.
Yeah.
I don't even think I know my own phone number, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd have a problem going back to, hey, do you want to go out for a couple of bevies tonight? Hey,
Mhm.
what are you doing, 2 weeks from this Thursday?
But no, for me it'll be. I'll just stay home, thanks.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, somebody would be calling me, but then I'm like Bill. I think I might turn my phone off at 9 o'clock. But no, I'm not the one. I am never. I've told some of my friends this. If you ever want to see me for whatever reason at a social occasion, I need like a little DNA sample of the invitation engraved. It has to be engraved
Yeah.
in whatever. But
Yeah.
Gold leaf.
yeah,
my
I would
friends.
never phone up somebody and say, "Hey, can I come over to your place, or can we go for beers?" it's been a long time since I would do that.
Mhm.
So I don't know, and I don't know if that makes me an ogre or if that makes me aloof, or I don't know what that makes me. It probably makes me not a nice guy. I don't know.
But you want your actual invite. You're not.
But if somebody, if somebody wants me to come to a social occasion, invite me. If you want me to come see your band,
Mhm.
if you just say, "Oh, you should drop by sometime," that'll never happen.
Here's Cliff knocking on the door.
Never
I'm
happen.
here. You said to drop
You know,
by.
I have to. I literally need an engraved invite for any social occasion.
And that time they'd open the door. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Well, you said to drop by at any time. Well, now's not a good time. But
So
you said
if
any
you
time.
knew that Chronic Rock was playing, you just
Yeah.
wouldn't show up because they didn't send a mass invite to you and everybody else.
No, but if a friend of mine called me up and said, "Hey, Cliffy, Chronic Rock's playing. I saw the invite. I saw you were interested. Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in." Right. But for me to say I'm just going to show up there, it's very unlikely.
See,
But that's a bar, though. That's different. That's
I'm very different than you.
no.
I
But I'm
go
saying
to-
that's different, though, Paulie. It's a bar. You don't need an invitation to go to a bar.
no, true
Right?
that.
What
That's
I'm
true.
what I'm
That's true.
talking about is like a
Yep.
genuine social
Yep.
occasion.
Yep.
If you expect me to be that genuine social occasion that you're hosting, I kind of need an invitation because I'm not so unshy that I will just show up.
Yeah.
I'm a very shy individual, and I know that sounds very counterintuitive when people look at me, but I am genuinely a very shy person. As a matter of fact, for most of my life, I suffered from pathological shyness, and yet I've been in the public sort of sphere all along. But nonetheless, so for me, I need that invitation. So social media for me has actually been a good thing in those terms. But I could easily do without it.
I just wanted to jump. So Jeremy's on with us.
Oh, Jeremy boy!
So Jeremy says, "Man, I love you guys. I'm sorry my Mondays suck. This Monday's in an almost dead phone in the Calgary airport while my flight is delayed multiple times. You are all beautiful, and isn't Podlie supposed to be on the other side and Cliff on the other side? Who are you guys even?"
Oh, I think it's always been this way.
I think it's
no?
always been this way.
Yeah, it's always been.
Jeremy,
been this
Jeremy,
way.
I think it's always been this way.
Hey, Jeremy, take your phone. Hang on, buddy. Take your phone like this and turn around.
And reverse it. Reverse it.
I'm sorry, man. You know, Jerry, I think this is the way it's always been, dude.
Yeah. So Marvin says, "I remember my grandma's phone number from the 80s, but almost draw a blank when the pharmacist asked me my wife's phone number when I'm picking up her meds."
It's just the way it is.
100%, Marv.
Yeah.
My grandmother passed away when I was 5 years old. I can still recite her phone number. She passed away when I was 5.
I would be really curious, sorry, Cliff,
Go
to
ahead.
see the looks on, say, as we already said, the younger generation's face. If you walked up and said, "Okay, big headlines. Social media is completely closed for the next 72 hours.
I don't know.
There's
Something would
absolutely no social media available."
But I couldn't blame them if they, like, if you, I mean, come on.
That's what they're growing up with now.
If you were born in 2002, you've known nothing with your cognizant life.
nothing.
You've known nothing but
That's
social
right.
media.
Yeah,
That's right.
So in my mind, I couldn't blame them. Me, on the other hand, doesn't bother me. I could easily.
So we're going to be big time generalizing here, but in terms of communication and mental health, it's, before social media, I think it's pretty safe to say that mental health was probably a lot healthier.
I would
before
guess.
2002.
guess.
We're just going to use the year 2002. I would assume it's probably better.
You have to look back even. We talked about, in the past, like keyboard warriors and all these kind of that will come after you, right? We didn't have that back in our time. Before computer social media, there was no keyboard warrior. There was no, there might have been the bully in school, but they couldn't bully you online.
That's right.
They couldn't
Good
attack
call.
you that way.
And
right?
Bill,
Good call.
to your point, it's really strange now. Like like if I had a daughter, I would be talking to her on a daily basis about it, because back in the day, you could, to your point, to 100% your point, she could get bullied at school. The moment she leaves the school grounds and come home, it's done.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's not done. It follows her right into her damn bedroom.
They find you online, everything, right?
It follows you into your bedroom. She's probably at 10 o'clock at night. If you have a daughter more than 15 years old, she's probably in her room 10 o'clock at night on Facebook. And if those bullies are after her, they're going right into her bedroom.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's not a mental issue, I don't know what is.
And Cliff, I don't know about you, but as a parent of two 12-year-old boys and an 11 and a beautiful 11-year-old
girl, yeah.
There is not a day that goes by that doesn't scare the bejesus out of
Have you thought about handcuffs to the
buddy?
God,
Buddy, Cliff, there's not a day goes by where that's scary, because I've got one boy in particular on his it's attached to his ear, you know. Now I will, and I clarified this. I can't remember who I was talking to this weekend. School systems have banned
they're done.
phones.
Banned the phones.
God love you, school systems. Thank you very much.
I think it's great, and I've been in a lot of the schools recently, and they're enforcing it, and it's actually been quite cool.
So my sons, both my boys, have phones. They do take them to school. They do have them, and I want them to have them because they do take public transportation.
Yeah.
Okay, they take public transportation. I want them to have it, but they have to have them in their lockers at all times during, and I love it.
See you, Jeremy. Have a safe flight home.
See you, Jared. Nice of you to drop in quickly.
Yeah, and you're right.
Safe travels, Jared.
My grandson Beckett has his phone with him as well because he also takes the bus.
Yeah, takes the bus
to school, but of course he can't use it during school day time,
yeah.
and then he has it after as well, right?
I wonder, Bill, to your point and to your topic point as well. I wonder if it would be in the best interest of families, let's say children, whatever, for parents to actually mandate, say, fine, once every 2 weeks. You have to be off all social media for a weekend, or once every 3, whatever the interval is.
Right. So Beckett's mom, so she has a program on her phone, so she can shut his phone off at night. So she can control.
She controls the phone,
and so when it hits 10 o'clock, he can't do anything else.
He's done.
Otherwise, he'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning, texting with his girlfriend, or with his friends. Right.
Yeah.
So.
I'm lucky in the way now. I'm lucky in the way that my kids have been too darn busy with hockey and soccer and badminton. So when they hit their heads to the pillows, they are out within 7 minutes. Like they're legit out, and I'm kind of lucky that way.
Well, I tell you what, I think the fastest way to keep kids, or the longest way, or the best way to keep kids off social media, is to occupy their time. Because also on top of that, when they go to the hockey game, or whatever game, they're socializing with friends there. And let's face it, just like adults, they socialize themselves out.
Right.
So now when they get on the bus and they get home, they're like, I don't want to be on social media because I've had real friends and
I
real
just talked
talk.
to the dude.
Right.
Yeah. And again, same thing with Beckett, right? Being hockey, because now his hockey season is over, but he'll start up again in August, early August. But he has his friends there that he sees all the time, right? And our weekends, quite often now, his buddies are coming over here and hanging out downstairs, or his girlfriend's coming and hanging out down, so he's seeing them this way, right?
I'll give you an example of what I'm dealing with right now. So it's spring break for my kids. My kids are in Canmore as we speak. I'm here working. My kids are in Canmore as we speak. They're with my mom and dad. My mom and dad have a timeshare. They're this, that, and the other thing. My boys have a phone. My girl does not have a phone yet. My boys have a phone. I'll bet, and I did caution them. I said, you watch that data, baby. I don't want you to come home to a 600. So I did caution him, but I didn't say anything to him about his friends. I said nothing. So here's what I think is happening as we speak. I still think they're going to be too damn busy rock climbing, like I'm getting photos, and swimming. I don't think they're on their phones that much. I don't think they're on their phones that much. And to your point, Cliff, all you have to do is just get the kids occupied and interested in stuff with their peers, with their friends. If you do that, they're not going to need their phones because they're with their peers.
If they're too young, you have to engage with them, and you have to. The thing is, what I see a lot of the times is that, you guys, you're exposing your children to many things, and in fairness, you have the resources and the facilities to do that. You have your parents around Podlie and all that sort of stuff, and your grandparent, you guys are there. Some people don't have that opportunity. So it's 1,000% more difficult for them.
It's different if you're coming from a single parent family.
Oh, it's crazy.
Or you're maybe in a foster home. Now foster homes can be really good.
Yeah,
so
it can be really good. Yeah.
But I mean, if you're in a group home or somewhere like that, you don't have
it. Or if you're with a single, let's say a single mother who works her ass off all week, tired can possibly be, number one. Number two, still not making a shit ton of money to be able to entertain the kids or put them in different activities.
Doesn't have the money to do that.
And doesn't have the support network of grandparents and parents and whatnot Well, I mean, these people are
That's tough.
in tough straits, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, and if the kids are 2 or 3 years old or 4 or 5 years old, how are they to cope? It's a tough road.
And then I'm also going to turn that around and I'm going to go the other way. And I'm going to say, I have also seen people who have very affluent parents who stick their kids with their iPad while they're at appointments, or they're in the beauty salon getting their nails done, and so it goes
everywhere.
It goes everywhere. It goes every which way.
My only thing is that with some parents, it's not like they have a choice, right? I mean, if you work whatever hours a day, and then you go home and you have 2 children to raise and cook food and blah 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 blah, how much energy do you think is left over, right? And I mean, it's a really tough road, and I think people need to understand that. And that's where the habits begin of social media, and that's where the habits begin of being reliant on this stuff, right?
So we have, sorry, Paul. So we have, of course, we have our Briar Patch Childcare Cottage, and one of the things in either all of those rooms is there are no screens.
Right.
So
nice.
Good.
Good.
There are tablets only for the educators, but they only use them for photos. There's a private page that the parents have access to, so they can see photos of the kids. That's all they're used for. But the kids have no screens. Right. And quite often, when parents are coming in for tours, because there are childcare centers in the area and surrounding area that have screens for the kids.
Oh, okay.
And parents coming in and going, "You don't have screens here?" No, we
look after the kids.
The kids play, they do everything, they go outside. There's no screens here, and they're like, "Oh, what a relief!"
We've heard
that so many times from parents saying, "Finally, a place there's no screens."
There's no screens.
There are childcare centers that are still sitting the kids down in front of a screen or a movie, or that's how they look after them.
That's how they look after them.
So here, sit in front of the screen.
Well, okay. I was just going to say. Having screens is not necessarily a bad thing here, guys. But if you're using it as for child minding, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So
well, especially if that's your job. It's one thing if you're a parent and you got to cook food. Well, what are you going to do with your 2 toddlers? Well, then you let them
watch the Podlie podcast. For crying out loud.
Exactly.
8:00 Monday nights.
But if you're getting paid to look after the kids, then you probably shouldn't plant them in front of a screen. And I tell you what, I'm with you. I've been to daycares that have screens everywhere and they have the cartoons on and everything else. So I think it's fantastic if you're saying, "Hey, listen, we're here to look after your kids and engage with them engage with them," right?
My kids, I mean, obviously this is 10 years ago. My kids never had screens at their daycare. No, at all. Yeah. I don't remember them having screens in kindergarten. To be quite honest with you, they might have. I can't remember, but for sure not in daycare. For sure, they didn't have daycare. Sorry, play school. Play school.
Okay, so if we implemented as parents, let's say we said, okay, every so often you can pick the time frame interval. Every so often you are, there's no social media allowed. You can be on your phone. You can text, obviously, if you need to text with your friends and here and there. Media. But no social media. You are off the doom scrolling, and you can't touch social media for X number of hours, 40 hours, whatever. If we as parents, as communities, said we're going to do this at a 3-week interval or whatever, do you think that'd be a good thing or a bad thing for the kids?
I think it's a good thing. Because, again, we talked mental health last episode.
Yeah.
So it gives them a break to get off that. And like you said, you can still talk to your friends on the phone. You see them in person, go out, have them come over, hang out and do something like that, right? Rather than be
on there, yeah.
You guys, my kids would get a newspaper route again. Because there would be such things.
Yeah. The thing, what concerns me with the proposition that I just had is that I think we need to understand that social media is more than just a habit and more than just a thing. I mean, when you post something, Podlie, and somebody likes it, you are literally getting a dopamine hit.
100%.
Okay, so what happens 100%. Is, and then when you see something that makes you happy or whatever, you're getting a dopamine hit from this. So this is you're watching something.
Good job, Paul.
You are watching something that is detached from you, but yet it releases a chemical inside of you. You get a dopamine hit. So what happens is, if you're addicted to that dopamine hit, that's what social media addiction is. It's not like you're addicted to seeing what Bill is posting. No, you're addicted to the dopamine hit you get from seeing it. So my concern would be if you say, okay, every 3 weeks, you got to be 48 hours. There's a couple of things that can happen. one, they'll go through withdrawal symptoms and they'll find different ways to get that dopamine hit, which I don't like, right? Because you don't know what ways they're going to find.
Fine. Yeah.
And then secondly, the other side of it could be that it's a reset. It's a dopamine reset, right? In which case it could be a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in my mind, it would take professionals to sort of analyze that and
Right.
and maybe advise. Because in my mind, because it's the strangest thing to say that, oh, well, I'm not, social media is this and blah, blah, blah. No, but it's a literal physical change in the body. And if you've grown up with it, you and I and Podlie, maybe because we're pre-social media,
Mm-hmm.
but if you've grown up with it and that's all you've ever known, you're getting a lot of this dopamine hit from social media.
Right.
100%.
Right.
And now it's going to be a legitimate concern for you to say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be on social media anymore.
Having said that, I guess on the other flip side of it, can you not get that hit by seeing your friends in person? If they say, "Hey, that's a great
Well,
point you just made."
Well,
or-
how did you get
or like
how did
that,
you,
yeah.
how did you get the proverbial dopamine hit before social media?
Okay, but
How did you get it?
okay, as much as I would love to answer that question for you, I'd like to make that question irrelevant for the argument, Podlie,
Mhm.
because we have different ways of getting dopamine hits. I mean, what if they were smoking marijuana?
Mhm.
Well, what if they were
Mhm.
doing acid? What if they're
Mhm.
doing drugs? What if they're
Mhm.
doing bush
Mhm.
parties and
Mhm.
smacking down beers? Heaven knows I did that.
Mhm.
So maybe that was the dopamine hit. So now you can start to say, well, okay, well, is social media then a better way and a safer way for these children to get that dopamine
That's
hit?
true.
Mhm.
That's true.
Right?
That's
So
true.
and that's not to negate your question. But the other thing one must ask is, keep in mind, dopamine isn't. I heard one of my favorite neuroscientists, his name is Dr. Huberman. He says dopamine is what he calls an unintelligent molecule. It's just there.
Right.
What it's done with it is the body's concern.
Mhm.
So the fact of the matter is, it's not so much that where did they get it before, it's so much that we need, once you get addicted to it, once that dopamine starts coming in, you need more and more and more and more of it.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? So it's not a matter of where you got it from more back then, it's a matter of how much do you now need.
Mhm.
Because you're constantly getting a hit every 5 seconds
Now
when
you're
scrolling.
constantly getting hit with that dopamine hit by virtue of social media. Where
Scrolling.
back before
Right.
social media, I might have been getting the proverbial dopamine hit once every 2 weeks when my teacher said, "Good job, Paul."
Correct.
Mhm.
Right?
That's it.
So
It's a drug.
right? So now it's increased levels, and you need that. Now there are ways. I'm understanding that you can actually reset dopamine. You can reset what the body needs for dopamine in order to function properly, not get depressed and down and out.
Mhm.
But it's a weaning process, right? And you need to be able to do that. And I don't know what the answer is, folks, but I will tell you that the social media, the factor that's most important about social media, that is the problem, that is the addiction, is not the scrolling, it's what the chemicals released inside you, which is the dopamine hit,
Mhm.
right? It's a drug, and it's as powerful as a drug. And I think that's what we need to understand, and that's what we need to somehow mitigate with the people that we love and the children that we're bringing up, because it literally is a chemical that's released in the body.
And
Yeah.
I think social media is successful as it is for the past 20 years, not because you can instantly get information and technology, not because you can instantly talk to your friends, but because you can always get an instant dopamine
Correct.
hit. That's why it's so darn popular.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and they know how to do it. The algorithm's actually literally based on that. The reason why the algorithm senses what you're doing and actually continues that. So if you click on something, if you're on Instagram, if you click on a reel, it's very cool because I've actually looked at it. If you click on a reel, and now it's a car reel.
Yeah.
They'll come up with car reels and car reels and car reels. And then you get sick of car reels, and then you click on, click on audio things. Now all of a sudden, the very next scrolling starts to be all audio.
Yeah.
So they want to keep you on there as long as possible because they want eyes on the advertising.
Mhm.
But meanwhile, for the people looking and for the people viewing, we're getting that hit on a constant basis. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Some people are saying good night here. I know Laura's left already. She said she had to leave. She'd watch the last half of the show later. Of course, Jeremy's flying. Nicole says, have a great night, boys, and have an awesome week. William Kirkland, have a wonderful evening. And
Nice.
a week ahead,
As
everyone.
Shakespeare says, good night, good night.
Good night.
Parting is such sweet sorrow
Sweet
that I
sorrow.
shall say good night till it be morrow.
There you go. There you go. So so people are pulling out a little bit early tonight.
Jump ship, abandon ship.
What are we gonna? Is there an iceberg coming our way
It's
that
a
we
sinking
don't
ship.
know about? So we still got about 4 minutes left here in the show. So
Cool. I would suggest that we, as parents, as community, as blah blah blah, I think we really need to understand this dopamine cycle. And I think what the schools are doing with banning in Alberta, with banning the cell phones in the classroom, I personally think it's the best thing ever.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You have a great week. Marvin's leaving us as well.
Hey, Marvin, thanks for showing up, my friend.
Miss you, Marv.
Hey, you guys know that the show actually does go for an hour. Right?
Marv, hey, show up at 7:55 next week, all right? You owe us 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, either way we torture you, just so you know, right? If you
Marv,
show up 1 minute
come
late,
on,
it's like it's about time you showed up.
Yeah.
And then if you leave 1 minute early, Bill says, you guys do know.
So
Well, the bottom line is, before you guys go, if you're still listening in the background, thank you for showing up. It's much appreciated. And we'll see you next Monday, I'm assuming. And stay in touch on the webpage and all that wonderful stuff, okay?
well, Marvin said he's here to the end. Sorry,
Well, there you go, Marv.
Because you started to say goodnight, so we thought you were.
We're not going anywhere, Marv.
Look at that, Marvin.
Yeah.
He was dissing you for nothing.
Marv,
buddy.
now neither are you, Marv.
Yeah. But no, as Cliff said, you can tune in to Facebook or YouTube and watch it again. You can do that. And if, by the way, you have not subscribed to our channel, you can do that right there.
Yeah, that'll take you to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And if you subscribe to it, it'd be much appreciated.
You can do that. I realized tonight I don't have my scrolling YouTube
Gizmo.
Right.
gizmo on the bottom, my
Right.
banner that I usually run. But anyway, and you can tune in Sound Sugar Radio on Friday nights and listen to just the audio. But yeah, if you want to see the comments, then obviously go back to Facebook and go back to YouTube. And
Yeah.
if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, do that. And if you haven't liked our Facebook page, do that.
And by the way, the likes on when you're on YouTube, if you like the program, like if you actually like the video, that actually helps the algorithm.
It does.
In case you
The
didn't
more
know.
likes
Yeah.
we get,
Yeah.
the better it is.
And feel free to go to past videos and stuff like that. And if you haven't watched them, watch them. And if you haven't watched them, just like them anyway.
Yep.
Because, those will add up as well.
There's only 198 to
Yeah.
watch.
That's right.
And they're not all.
Just like. we like that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. So, and hey, you got topics that you want to talk about? Please put it in the Facebook page. Give us topic suggestions, etc., etc., etc. And we're still looking for a potential idea for our 200th
Yeah,
episode.
we're still thinking about that one. That's coming up soon. So
Yeah. So if you have any potential ideas of what a person should do for the 200th episode, speak now or forever. Don't hold your peace, because we still want you coming back and commenting.
And thank you for that. William says, I always click like. Thank you, William.
Thanks, William.
We like that you click like.
I noticed
William.
that quite a few, other than Jeremy, most of our viewers tonight were all watching on YouTube. So wasn't too many watching on Facebook. So
Love it. That's cool, though.
yeah, that's
Love it.
good.
That's great.
So, all righty, everybody. Well, I'm trying to kill time here because I'm watching the clock, and we still have about a minute and a half.
Uh-oh. Dead air.
So we're almost there.
Make sure you guys keep to your socials too, because we'll let you know it's a pretty busy time for us. We do not foresee us leaving in the foreseeable future, but keep your eyes peeled on the socials just in case something comes up, because we're all really busy guys, quite frankly.
So,
Yeah, busy time at the
We're
moment.
busy guys.
All right, all.
So.
Well, have a good week, and we'll talk to you all later. See ya.
Stay happy.